All right, we're on Facebook Live, the Ron and Don Show and KIRO Radio. Ron, what are we talking about?
What are we talking about
What
here?
are we talking about?
What are we talking about here?
So I deleted my Google Plus account today. It felt really good, actually. I didn't sign up for a Google Plus account. I guess that's beside the point. You probably have a Google Plus account, too, and it may have been hacked. If you use Gmail or YouTube or Docs, then most likely you also have a Google Plus account. They just gave you one. They're trying to jumpstart a new social media platform a few years ago. It was their attempt at a social once they saw how much money Facebook was making. But Google Plus never really took off, and it just kind of sat there in the background, except to the hackers. Turns out that just like Facebook, Google has been asleep at the wheel about the security of its users' personal information. Hackers were able to get the user data on around about 500,000 people, give or take. I don't know if that means just name and email address or if the hackers have credit card numbers and medical histories. Google has been evasive about the details. The security flaw actually prompted Google to just shut the entire Plus network down. One of the interesting things to me is how small a story this is today. There was a time, not so long ago, when a security breach of this magnitude would be the lead story on just about every newscast. Now, people barely raise an eyebrow. The idea of personal privacy used to be sacrosanct to all Americans. Now we just give it away for thumbs up and a few heart clicks. Here's the thing, though. For most of us listening right now, Google knows more about you than any person in the world. Everything you've ever searched for is linked to your Google account, along with credit card numbers, purchase histories, health concerns, and the most embarrassing, weird, or kinky thing you were ever curious about. I'd like to tell myself that the only reason I'm so active on social media is that it's a requirement of my job. We have meetings about best practices and how frequently we should post on this or that for audience engagement. But the truth is, I would most likely still be somewhat active even if I didn't do what I do. But wondering if some 17-year-old in the Ukraine is selling my identity and credit score on the dark web is getting tedious. Here's an idea. How about there being some actual consequences for big companies when they leave the door open to hackers? Maybe some real monetary fines, an amount that would actually get their attention, or even payments to the people affected. They've made so much money on our data. When they get hacked, maybe we should recoup some of that value. Or, my best idea yet, get social with the human beings that interact with you IRL, that's in real life. Talk to your coworkers, go to lunch with an old friend, or take a walk with that high school bestie. Maybe we can take this latest security breach as a motivator to put the social back into our analog lives.
Now, this I find fascinating. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who has some kids that are 14, 15, 16 years old. And he told me they're not on Facebook, they're not on Twitter, they're not on Snapchat. And then he mentioned some things that they are. And I thought everyone's on Snapchat and on Twitter. And he mentioned things that they're on that I have never heard of. So I couldn't even repeat them now if I wanted to. Really interesting to me. He has two boys, 22 and 23. And they call themselves analogs. They have signed off social media. And they have gone back to reading a book as a book. And they have minimal interaction with websites. They have signed off. They don't have a lot of interest, and their friends don't have a lot of interest in that. They've gone back to using flip phones, which I thought was really fascinating. And I just wonder if there is going to be some kind of backlash, and if we'll see that more as people say to themselves, wow, I don't want to be tied to this thing all damn day. Remember what life was like when you didn't have a pager, and then as soon as people could page you, they demanded you get back to them within 30 minutes. Now people send you a text message, and they want you to get back to them within 30 seconds. It's horrible.
It is horrible. And also a company like Google is just like, oh, I know what we'll do. We'll just give out Google Plus accounts, whether you want one or not. You want to use YouTube? Here's your Google Plus account. And it's like, oh, wait, we didn't forget. We forgot to close the door on security.
You part of the analog movement? Maybe you didn't even know there's a movement. There is, the analog movement. The Online Training Academy text line is open. You can text us at 98973. We'd love to hear from you. Ron and Don's Top 5 at 5 is next, right after we check the cars with Tracy Taylor and get you all the headlines. We'll check in with CBS News. Thanks for stopping by KIRO Radio on a Tuesday as we say good afternoon. No, good evening.